Hello everyone and welcome back to CSE Interview Prep. So today we are going to discuss a problem based on the topic arrays. So let's start. So we have provided two input arrays, say ARR1 and ARR2. So these two input arrays having the elements like 8 to 18 in ARR1 array, first array, and the second array is having 2 and 1. So what we have to do, we have to find the common elements exist in these two arrays. So the common elements, the output which we are going to get is 2, 1. But the problem does not end here. So firstly, if the problem ends by the interviewer in this part only, then you have to ask to the interviewer, what about the various phases of the input? What if this input has been provided to you, which is first array contains 8, 2, 2, 1 and second array contains 2, 2, 1, 2. That means the common element between these two arrays will come as 2, 2, 1. That means to say, if you are going to ask your interviewer that what about the duplicate elements, shall we print the number of times the common element occurs in the both arrays, or the unique times we have to print in our output. So this will be a bonus point for you or some extra point to you, so that it is a great thing to ask about these type of input scenarios. So hope you understand the problem. Let's move to the approach. So here I am taking the same case which I have discussed being an interviewee to the interviewer. So where the output we should get like 2, 2, 1. So what approach we are going to follow here? So one thing is that we need some extra space if we want the output in this way. So before going to the approach, I will discuss the method signature is provided to you right now. So this is the method signature. You have been provided two array inputs and you have to return the array as output. So array which contains this common elements. So how we are going to do? So the approach, for our approach, we have to take an additional space which will keep track of the count of first array or the second array. For example, let's consider the first array, and I am taking a hash map which will keep track of the count of all the occurrences of the element in the first array exist. For example, we are going to traverse this array till its length and we will check whether this is present in the hash map or not. The first element is present in the hash map or not. If it is not present, we are going to insert this element into the hash map and put this value. This is a count as 1. This is an element and this is count of the element or the occurrence. Now we are going to 2. 2 is present in the hash map or not? It's not present in the hash map. So we are going to put 2 and the count as 1, initial count. Now if the next part, the 2 is already contains in the hash map. If a key is contains in the hash map, what I am going to do? I am going to increase its count so that its occurrences are 2 right now. Now I will just move my pointer to the last portion of the array 1 where 1 is there, and here it is not present. Again I am going to put as 1 the count. Now the iteration for the first array has been done. Now after iterating over the second array, how we are going to get our common elements? Let's see. So we have already populated our hash map with the array 1. Now we are going to iterate the second array and we will check whether the count of the particular element is greater than 0 or not. If it is greater than 0 and this key contains in the hash map, then we will add into our array list. So the main reason of using array list because of the size constraint. I am not going to have any constraint in the size to grow how many elements it wants to add in the array list. So in this way, I have decided to use array list. It's up to you whatever the data structure if you want to take. So let's discuss the array list I am taking here. So if this element contains in the hash map, the elements of the array 2 is contains in the hash map and the count is greater than 0, I am going to add that element in our array list, which is right now if you can see 2 is present in the hash map and the count is greater than 0, I will add 2 here. That means 2 is the common element because the count is greater than 0 here. Now I will decrement the count because the common has gone. I need to keep track of the other elements too, so that I can get the duplicate common elements which are there in array 1 and array 2. So iterating to the next element, which is 2, I am getting the 2 which is there. I will add into the array list and decrement the count here 0. Now the next element which I am encountering here, which is 1, and here I am getting 1, and 1 is already present in the hash map, and the key is present and the value is greater than 0. I am going to add this value into the array list and decrement the count as 0. Now if you can see why we are decrementing the count as 0, now you can see here 2 is already encountered, but we don't have the count greater than 0. That means we don't have any common elements. These are the common elements which we'll get in the form of the array list, and after converting this array list into the form of array, because we are going to get the size from the array list, and from the array list we are going to convert into the array, and we will return our desired result. So let's move towards the code. So for the code, we can see here we have provided 2 input arrays, and we are checking for the base condition. If any of the provided array is null, means it is empty, so common element can't be found, and we can return an empty array like this. Okay, so the base condition got over. After that we are just creating here hash map which can store key value pair of the element and the count of the element, the occurrences of the element, and here we are creating the array list which will keep track of the common elements. Now for the first array we are iterating over all the elements and checking whether it is contains in the hash map or not. If it is contains in the hash map, what we are doing, we are putting this value and updating the value of this element by 1, like hm.get nums I plus 1, and if it is not present, we are initializing this value with 1, other way around. So this part has been done, which we have to do for the overall elements for the first array. Now for traversing the second array, what we can do, we have to check whether the hash map contains that element and its count is, or the occurrence is greater than 0 or not. If it is greater than 0, I need to add into the array list and decrement the count from the hash map, so that we can't get uncommon elements in this point. So this we have to do for all the elements, and then finally we have to add our result into the array from the array list. So what we are doing here, we are initializing a new array with the size of the array list. After that we are just putting 1 by 1 each and every element, and then we are returning our desired result. So the time complexity of overall approach and the algorithm which we have discussed, it can be generalized as n, which is a part of nums1.length, the length of the first part, plus the length of the second part, nums2.length. Either it can be. So any of the two part, or the maximum you can say. What will be the space complexity? The space complexity which we have used, the generalized way, is hash map and array we have used, and array list is also used. So it is the maximum number of elements which we are using here. In the worst case, we are considering here as order of n. It can be either the nums1 of length if the elements are, all the elements are common of the nums1 and the nums2, all the elements are common, that we have to create the additional space of the nums1.length plus nums2.length. So it generalized, it is the same as the time complexity. So the space complexity is order of n. Overall we are getting linear time complexity and the order of n space complexity. So please subscribe to my channel for more updates, and you will get these type of good videos where you are going to get the approach to handle these kind of problems, which is the crucial part of any of the interview. That's all from my side. Thank you. Have a nice day.